Alright, you guys, what is good? We back at it again. So I recently was contacted by Dehancer. They hit me up and were like, hey, we like your content. We want you to try out some of our programs. I actually already tried out the Final Cut Pro version, which I'll leave a video card above for the link to that. This review, however, is going to be for their Lightroom program. They have ones for both photo and video. Video ones I think are DaVinci, Adobe Premiere, and Final Cut Pro. The photo ones are Photoshop and Lightroom. This is going to be for Lightroom. Haven't really used it too much, so I am kind of new to this. So these, my thoughts and feelings on this review are going to be pretty, straightforward and pretty candid, because I'm learning this with a lot of you guys that are probably watching this. So with that all being said, what we're going to do is we're going to jump into Lightroom, and then from Lightroom send it over into the Dehancer plugin. So let's get into it. Alright y'all, so as you can see here, this is the photo. This was taken in Chincoteague, Virginia. This was maybe like a week ago that I took this photo. Shot with the Z6 and I believe the Nikon 70 to 200 2.8G lens. With this, I already started a base exposure adjustment. So as you can see here, just straightened it a little bit, added like a tad bit of exposure contrast, really dumped down the highlights. The only color work that I did was in saturation right here. I want Dehancer to do most of the color grading for this. So, and there was a little bit of there was like a dust spot that I got rid of. Obviously we don't want that. So what we do, go in, right click, right here is Dehancer. This is going to open up various file formats. You can do as you wish. I prefer to keep it in TIFF and then color space sRGB. In my previous experience, like, Dehancer can kind of have like trouble with like ProPhoto RGB. I don't recommend using that because it changed the colors. So just stick with the standard, which is sRGB. Okay. So from here, the app will load. So here's the photo. As you can see down here, you have one of the most essential things that you can possibly have when it comes to a color grading and editing software. This gray area, I'm assuming, is my exposure histogram. These red, green, and blue ones are obviously your RGB. Super important. It's definitely nice to have that down here. First thing that a lot of people are probably going to do when they hop into this is, as you can see over here, there's preset and profile modules. Let's just start clicking through these. It's kind of like what we already know, in the sense that it's almost like presets, as you would expect in Lightroom. We're all already used to that. We already use them. Let's keep running through these. Let's find one that we like and then go from there. Okay, here's a solid one to start with. Let's use this one. So over here, this source. Oh, by the way, you can all turn preview on and off. You can zoom in and out. Two additional little features that are nice. Over here in source, these are pretty obvious. Exposure compensation. This is as bare bones as it gets. We all know what this means. Temp, tint. This being a golden hour image, I'm gonna warm it up a little bit. Tint, I like green hues, so let's adjust that a little bit. Defringe, this is basically chromatic aberration. In backlit situations, which this one isn't too strongly backlit, so I'm not even gonna mess with this right now. Film developer, kind of want to dumb down the contrast on this. Let's give it a little bit of a boost. Film compression, As you can see here, this is basically dumbing down the highlights, which I'm gonna up this because I like this. Color density, yeah, let's take it about there. Black points, I kind of prefer it to, nah. Let's up the blacks a little bit. And as you can see down in here, as I move the black point, you'll see it moving. So let's turn these off real quick. So these are essentially your grading components: source, film developer, film compression, expand, and print. These are, you know, features that are going to manipulate colors, push-pull exposures, etc., etc. I mean, as you can see, like, as I turn these on and off, these are, you know, it's massive changes. Well, again here too, with color head, I mean, I'm gonna push this. Okay, so this photo I have to a point that I'm pretty satisfied with as far as grading goes. These three things right here, film grain, halation, and bloom, to me this is like the cliche saying, like, this is where the magic happens type deal. These are my three favorite things. So let's start with halation first. We'll do grain last. So with halation, what you can see is, as I turn this on and off, you can see in these areas, let me zoom in here, you can see in these areas with highlights around the bird, here at the horizon, here by the grass and the water, you'll see it's adding a bit of a red tint to it. I believe the science behind this is back in like the film days, this like I guess light would hit the back of the film and would cause this kind of red color cast around like highlights. I think that's the science behind it. Don't take my word for it though. But as you can see, this is kind of adding like a red tint to it. We can go in and add more. So yeah, I'm kind of happy with that right there. And then bloom. Bloom is just like all the filters you see these days. I think there's Cinebloom ones. There's also other companies on Amazon that produce these diffusion filters. We're getting to a point now where a lot of editing softwares are capable of doing this. So again, there's mask mode in this. What you can do is, you see these lighter areas that are popping up, these are the areas that are blooming. So let's turn this mask mode off. As you can see, again, with the highlights, you're seeing areas, especially here along the horizon, you're seeing areas that start to, you know, diffuse and, you know, bloom. It's kind of like a area of like declarifying. That's kind of the way that I see it anyways. So a little bit of a blooming effect there. And then the final one is grain, which, I mean, come on now, you're editing to look like film, of course you need this. So with grain, some of these features are really obvious. We already know a couple of these from Lightroom, you know, size, amount. Gonna keep this more on the subtle side here. Okay with that one. What is nice is they have shadows, midtones, and highlights. So you can adjust grain based on your dark and light areas of an image. This one, you know, your biggest, this obviously with the sky being here, yeah, and as you can see, these This area does get, the grain gets larger as I adjust that highlight area. And then you got different film types, film modes, and finally vignette. Let's do a subtle one. Let's not take it too crazy here. And again, these are things that we already kind of know being in Lightroom. Pretty much all of these are able to be used in Lightroom, but it's nice just to be able to get it done here, and then once you go back to Lightroom, you don't have to do anything. But let's take a look at everything off, and there's on. So at this point, I'm pretty happy with this image, so let's expand this, press preview. Here's before. Of course, keep in mind this had like slight exposure adjustments and I increased the saturation. Here's after everything we've done. This, I believe, is very good looking. This is something that I would post on social media, or potentially use in some type of YouTube video, so on and so forth, TikTok, whatever. Definitely happy with this. And of course, at the end of everything, you simply just hit OK. And then at this point, it'll just take you back to Lightroom as you would with any other plugin. And then eventually, it'll load, and there you go. Alright, y'all. So with that being said, I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. If you own it, what are your thoughts on it so far? If you don't own it, are you considering buying it? What are your thoughts of buying it after seeing this review? This program currently is on the Dehancer website, listed at $199 for a lifetime license. I have a promo code for this software, which I will put in the description below. This promo code gives 10% off the program. You do get a free trial via Dehancer's website. If you do want to go through with buying it, you can use my promo code and save 10%. But with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you guys later.